Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Life Stories with Yaira. So, the last time I shared about the passing of my brother and how it was kept a secret from me. I just thought it wouldn't be fair for me to share the story without saying a big thank you to a few people who came through for me in those difficult moments. Like I said, I wasn't financially stable at the time, especially for the fact that I'd only been to Ghana and come back, and within 1 week, I had to make arrangements to go back. Thanks to Francisca, she lives in London. She called me once she heard the news. She said, Delane, get on the next available train and come to London. I got there. She made sure she cheered me up, just tried to encourage me. She took me to Gold Coast. If you know Gold Coast is one of the largest Ghanaian restaurants, and Francisca made sure I ate something. I stayed with her for a couple of days, and when I was leaving, God bless you, Francisca, she made sure she gave me an envelope, and it wasn't just an empty envelope. There was money, not just any money, but there was money. Francisca, thank you so much. I know you were not expecting this, because you are someone, you always help a lot of people, but you just keep it to yourself. I'm here to say once again, thank you so very much. You have no idea what you did to me. I would also like to say a very big thank you to Uncle Daniel, who I met at Francisca's place. We all went to Gold Coast together. He also tried cheering me up, more like a father figure. Obviously, Francisca had told him what happened to me. So when I was leaving, he also gave me some money. I really, truly appreciate it. It's gone and passed, but I just thought it wouldn't be fair sharing the story without letting you know that in those trying times you came through for me, and I really, really appreciate it. I've said thank you countless number of times, but I just want you all to know once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'd also like to share this. In moments of grief, when you make promises to people, especially when it's got to do with money, and you are not able to fulfill it, please communicate it to them. Don't keep them waiting and expecting and hoping that this person had promised me this. I'm going to use it to do this, please. It's quite a very sad one. Of course, it's your money and it's your choice to give or not to give. But here's the thing, once you make that promise to them and you are not able to meet that promise, please communicate it to them. Don't keep them hanging. Don't keep them hoping that there's something coming from this place which I would use for this and that. It can be really hurtful. I'd also like to say a very big thank you to my landlord at the time, who drove me all the way to Heathrow and made sure I was safe and okay. Thank you so very much. And I'd also like to say a very big thank you to John and his wife, who took me in the night I got to Accra, and the next day John coming with me to Ho, where the funeral was held. I'm grateful. The question to ask Aileen: did you truly go to Ho to see my brother's obituary, or was it just a story you cooked up to give me the information? I just really want to know. This is more of a rhetorical question. Why is it that during the early stages where a family, especially the nuclear family, is still grieving the loss of a loved one, that's when you find certain people who call themselves friends, families, trying hard to even worsen the pain by passing ridiculous, painful, hurtful comments? Why? Making mockery out of the situation. A stage in a man's life where we are all going to go through. Nobody is ever going to escape death. Why didn't you make mockery out of it? It was even rumored by my mother's friend that she killed her son. How insensitive. Why would my mother do that? A child you had carried for 9 months, looked after all through the years, and now he's working, earning, giving you money, looking after you. My brother was like the most caring, loving person. Always saying, Mommy, do you need this? Not sometimes he wouldn't even ask. He was such a gentleman. He'll buy this for my mom, take this, buy land, do this for yourself. And why would my mom kill him? For what? Goodness me. People are just so harsh. In a moment when we are grieving, then they just try to add up to it. For what? What do you achieve from that? At the latter stages of my brother's life, he was going through some mental health challenges, which he was managing and coping well with medication. But of course, there are times that you get episodes, and things did happen, which I've seen some and some I've been told, which was really sad, for such a gentle, handsome, hardworking person to go through or to have faced. At some points, my mom even took it upon herself to go and stay with him in Tema, just to keep close eyes on him, making sure he's taking his medications. And while he's at work, my mom helped with the house chores. He wasn't married. He had no child when he passed. Before I go on, I'd like to share my thoughts. This is my personal opinion based on what I've seen and heard over the years as a Ghanaian, and of course from the region that I come from, Volta. Let's stop shying away from talking about mental health illnesses. It's okay. It's not something to be shy about. Of course, I know as a Ghanaian, people try to tax such people in a certain way, try to disregard them. But it's high time we talk about it. Because you see, when you are shielding the person because of that sickness, you might as well be shielding the person from appropriate help, appropriate people with knowledge who could help this person. So let's just be mindful and let's treat these people right. Mental health is not a disease. It's not an illness which is transferable. So let's treat them as human as well. And let's make it easy for families and households who have brothers, sisters facing any mental health challenge. Let's make it easy for them to talk about it. Let's make it for them to come out and speak to the right people what is happening, instead of making it difficult for them to come out to say it because of how you're going to act towards them, how you're going to treat them. So like I said, my late brother in his latter stages of life was going through some mental health challenges. And of course, one day he had an episode. There was a generator with fuel in it. He drank the fuel and set himself ablaze. So he was in Ho at the time. So he was taken to Trafalgar Hospital. He was there for a few days or a week and he passed on. But here is what shocked me. So while in the hospital, often my mom would go and visit him with food and all that. And it was one of such occasions when my mom got there and she realized he wasn't in his bed in the room where he was. So my mom asked the nurses and they said, oh, he passed. How? My mom asked them when. How did it happen? And all the nurses were actually giving like different stories. Some said they took him to go and bath and what happened and then he passed. Some said just different stories. And here's the question, why would someone pass and you couldn't inform the family? Even on arrival, nobody came to my mom to say, oh, we want to see you. This is what had just happened. It happened this way. It happened. Nothing like that. My mom had to ask, and then it was presented to her in that manner. Why? What is happening in our hospitals? You're not giving detailed explanation as to when this happened, why, how. They just take things into their own hand. You couldn't wait for the family. You couldn't call the family to say, oh, this had just happened. Come and say your bye-byes or come and see him before you just took him straight. And apparently my mom said, oh, he's in the cold room. If you want to come and see him, we can take you. No sentiments. It's really sad. This is quite questionable. My brother passed quite a painful death. Really sad one. So to those who said whatever they want to say, it's between you and God. And to those who were there for us, we are grateful. We are really sincerely grateful. And I just pray that we all find that comfort. Sometimes I feel my brother had just traveled and he'll be coming back. And then it sinks in that, no, We're just going to meet one day in heaven when God calls us. It's sad. Sometimes I'm sure people will go like, oh, this had passed and all that. No, time does not heal. You just have to live with it. You just have to live with it. And I think by the grace of God is doing the work. It's not our strength that we've been able to cope this far. Senor, continue to rest well. We love you. You are such a gem which we cannot replace. Keep resting until we meet again. See you in the next episode.